Okay, well, as promised, I wanted to go over all the sub-assemblies for you on this Dragon Models 1/6 scale Pack 9738. In the instructions you have, just like in a lot of other kits that are 2-in-1 or whatever, these parts are actually shared with another kit they produce, which is the Pack 38. That particular gun doesn't have, it has a whole different barrel system on it. There's a different muzzle brake or muzzle flash on it, that kind of thing. So those parts are omitted from the build. However, I do want to keep them because, I mean, I could build just the barrel system for display if I could find the other half of the barrels. And I could just have a gun itself sitting off to the side. So to start with, this kit was a pain. Pardon my French. My videos are not for children, and I got it labeled that way on purpose. But this kit was a pain in the ass. For me, it was challenging and kind of fun. The problem is that these are the worst instructions that I've ever used, ever, building a kit. Now, you'll notice on here where I've written stuff down, okay? And the reason I did that is because, one, the instructions didn't cover a portion of the build. And when you got to the end, you're like, wait a second, I got all these extra little parts on my sprue. Where the heck do they go? They're not covered in the build. For instance, right step here, number 3, there's a small, piece on the suspension, B35 and 36 on the sprue, that's not even highlighted on the build itself. And they are hidden. Oh, where are they at? They're hidden behind this part of the frame. And so, in the parts that I'm talking about are right here. Okay? So when you're building it, you're going to be like, well, what do these go to? Now, there's an obvious fit there. They can only go on one way. But you're going to have to study your build before you go nuts. Or you can watch this video and I'll just show you where the problems are. So that's an issue. Barrel, it's A4, not A3. You'll notice they've got A3 listed twice here in the instructions. When you start getting to the support arms, C26, there's 2 of those parts. They're located underneath the support, which are not part of the build instructions. So you end up with 2 pieces that are extra. This little foot pad deal, B14 and 15, are located right here on these mounts. Not part of the build instructions. It doesn't tell you what those are. You'll notice here where this little latching system is, we've got C16, C15, and C24, as opposed to C26, C11. So if you're a beginner at building models and following instructions, you're going to do your best to follow this step by step, and you're going to get frustrated because the parts do not match with what's on the sprue. Now, the sprue is probably correct, but the instructions are wrong. So the instructions continue. They're missing some things. Here's another location where C26 is located, up underneath that part. Up here, this pin is actually 2 pieces. F4, they're both labeled F4s. You have to put them together. That's your center pivot pin for the main breech. B34 is a pin that pins the 2 legs together, and that is not covered in the instructions. B34. D28, same thing. D28 is a little, they got them listed as D26s. They're actually D28s. Those are on this unit, and I will point the parts out that are different that you're not seeing. Getting to steps 9 and 10, the wheels I am leaving off right now because we're going to paint them while they're on the sprue, and then I'll assemble them later. B19 and 20, that's a tricky little deal here. We'll talk about that. And step 10, D23, 29 is missing on the instructions, but you have the parts. So there's just, you got to be careful when you're monkeying around with this thing. Now, sub-assemblies. The first part of your build is the shield. okay? And it's two separate pieces. And just be careful when you sandwich the parts together, because you have inner shields that should be sliding open and closed. And same thing with this upper one that rides with the main gun, okay? You have to put all these little tips in. These tips are offset to accommodate the slope on the deal, so be careful on your orientation. And then on the inside, you have all your little mounting locations for the support arms that will be on the main gun assembly. So this is pretty much between this and this, you're looking at step one. Now these are loose, okay? I did not put them on yet because of painting reasons, but it's a pretty tight fit. Make sure you let all these little parts dry in here before you assemble the main gun to this, because there is a ratcheting action that keeps the gun in place. You put this in too soon and that's not set up in there, you're going to have some problems. So debating whether I want to fill this in. You're not going to see it, but I'll decide that later. But we got all the handles and the cranks on. And I'm assuming it's a hydraulic cylinder, which will, help to lift the gun or whatever. These two mounting locations and those two mounting locations are for the shield supports. Okay. The shield basically fits on, if I can get it lined up, right there. All right. And then you have 4 additional support arms to go in there. Now, this one here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces to assemble that. The instructions, what I mentioned earlier, part number D23 and 29 are these little round guys right here. They are not covered in the instructions. So I had to do a little research on that to figure those out. This unit plugs into the main pivot point there. And then, of course, this fits here, like so. And then we'll work to put the support beams in. All right, so there's that. We'll set that off to the side. Main gun. This breech is loose. I don't know if that's by design, but the pictures that I'm seeing, the breech is in this orientation, and I looked online and I saw some that were more of a down position. I don't know if that's supposed to pivot or not, but you got 2 parts here, 2 parts here. Everything gets sandwiched together. I've got some filler in here and some Mr. Surfacer 500. We'll get the seam lines taken care of. I did take a cordless drill, a small drill bit, and I drilled out all of the vents for the muzzle brake. I don't know if you can see that. I just think it adds a little bit more realism. Okay, that barrel is part of step 2. Step 3 consists of the main chassis, the bottom shield, which flips up. Okay, you've got these straps right here, and basically what that's for is a shovel. So I may even reshape the tip of this shovel and get that in there and fabricate a handle out of wood to get that in place. But that handle would go all the way down to this pocket, and then you would have straps right here that would hold that shovel in place. The kit does not come with that. That's kind of sad, actually, but it is what it is. So we'll see about that. On the suspension, again, these 2 parts are not recognized in the instructions. This, and I'm going to zoom in on my camera. I hope I can zoom in on these things. You get these castle nuts on the inside. The castle nuts are too long. And I don't know if I have... I don't know what I did with it. But you're going to have to cut at least half of the shaft off of that castle nut so it fits flush into that location. Okay, you have these little flat tabs. I didn't know this until after I got done building it, that these are actually pull pins for the chains. This would have been a permanent fixture. So I drilled a hole in each one, and they're offset. I need to widen those up a little bit. But what you would do there is you have the opposing, these parts are loose. You have the opposing pin right here. So when this is all closed up, or excuse me, is it closed up or opened up? I am thinking when it's open to its fullest position, you would pull the chain here and slide it there, and that would just keep it locked. So I'd have to look for some historical pictures. Anyways, just focus, you know, when you do this, just know that keep it oriented this way flat so you can drill it. And then we're going to later put a chain to these two to make it a little bit more realistic. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to talk about in this particular step. Pay attention to the photos. That's the other thing about these instructions. They don't give you step by step to show you where the pieces are. They show you a lump picture right there, and they point to all the part numbers. And that's why part numbers are being missed. So Dragon, your instructions suck. You heard me. I said it. Okay, same thing with the large support arms. There are missing details. You have to really look at the drawing or look at the pictures to see what's missing and go find the part. So that's it, man. Step 6, we got both of these units completed. And in step 8, 9, and 10, we're going to put the gun together. The only one I can't figure out is F6, that triangular looking thing up there. If anybody knows where F6 goes, let me know. But here she is in all her glory. So, not impossible, just frustrating. Now, obviously, I have some sanding to do. And a little more cleanup work before I shoot paint. But there's a lot going on in this model. Okay, these are more than likely cleaning rods for the gun tube. They're wooden on the real thing, so I may replace these with wooden dowels. They fit right here on the side. Okay, there's 2 of them on this side, 1 of them on this side. As far as movable parts are concerned, you have this lock lever, these 2 handles, okay. This unit here, it pins up there. The arms close, the gun elevates, and of course when the wheels are done, it'll sit up much higher. But this is pretty awesome. Well, that's about it. It's about all the excitement I can handle for one day. I need to take a break anyways, get something to eat, maybe drink a little tea for my throat. But there you have it. 10 major assemblies with sub-assemblies, which are not covered in the instructions, with misidentified parts, etc., etc. So I hope you enjoyed this. We will do a separate video on when I actually paint and detail it, kind of like I did for the flak Veerling. So, but it is huge, and it's got weight to it. So, hey, if you can get one, go get one. I'm actually in the market for the other one like this, but it's the Pack 37, or excuse me, the Pack 38, which has the different gun system on it, and but everything else should build up the same. Have a good rest of your Saturday. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and or I can say to our channel, since you're a part of it, and let's keep the action going. Thank you.